Brand new MacBook Air. I just posted about purchasing this while I'm on a photo shoot here in Osaka, Japan. And a lot of you ask me, why did you go with the MacBook Air over MacBook Pro? Aren't you a pro, Justin? Aren't you a pro photographer? Yes, I am. So today I'm going to talk about why I chose the MacBook Air with an M2 processor over the brand new MacBook Pro, the M2 Pro processor. This is not a tech channel. If you want tech specs and comparison and value and that kind of stuff, go check out Marquise Brownlee. He does that really well. He does it so well, he's got millions of followers. I'm just going to talk about it from a photographer's perspective, why I chose this, give you my first impressions, and how I spec this out for my work as a professional photographer. So let's get into it and let's talk photography. So first off, why did I buy a laptop while I'm on a photo shoot here in Japan? Well, I've been considering a new laptop for a long time. My old MacBook Pro, the Intel processor, weirdly enough, once I updated to Catalina, that battery is terrible. Apple. Why is that? But I've also had that laptop for a long time. It was a good laptop. I had it for many years, and I fully maxed out that laptop, but I am working quite differently these days than I was when I purchased that laptop. So initially, I bought a MacBook Pro. Again, it's like 5 or 6 years old. I had it fully maxed out, so fastest processor you could get at the time. I had 32 gigs of RAM in it, and I had a 1 terabyte SSD drive in it. And that cost me, I remember it being like almost $4,000, bought it in Singapore. And while we're here in Osaka, tomorrow we start our photo shoot for Intercontinental Hotels, and one of our producers, her laptop crapped out on her. So, perfect time to get a new laptop. And she thinks she's going to get a new one? No, the boss gets the new tech. She gets the hand-me-downs. That's one of the perks of being the boss. So I gave her my old laptop, and I started to okay, I got to quickly dive in and figure out which laptop, because I've just sort of been eyeing them, but I wasn't ready to make a purchase maybe for a couple more months. So had to dive into it now. So that's important to know because there's probably other laptops coming out soon. And a couple things, just some parameters here. I decided to put myself on a budget this time because I'm using a laptop quite differently than I was when I bought that last one for almost $4,000. I'm using this more for, yes, editing on the fly when I'm on a shoot, but I'm not doing my full edit for the client. That happens when I get back to my home studio, and I do most of that now on my iMac instead of on my laptop, whereas years ago, I used to just sort of be on a shoot while editing the last shoot. And I'm also doing more 4K editing now, but not heavy 4K editing. I'm editing on DaVinci Resolve. I'm editing this footage and doing my YouTube stuff on there. So nothing really heavy in the effects category. So basically I needed a capable laptop. I didn't need a maxed out laptop. And I put my budget at about $2,000. I just figured it was a nice round number. I could justify the cost because, again, I'd still be doing light editing on the road, using this as my computer, obviously, to load photos in, deliver images to clients, do some editing for my YouTube channel, like I'm going to do after this. Or I already did because you're watching me. So I was comparing the MacBook Pro, the M2 processor, then they had the M2 Pro processor, then they had the MacBook Air. I used to use a MacBook Air many moons ago when I first moved to Vietnam, when I was doing more editorial work, and I maxed that one out, and it was fine. I actually had no problems with that, and I remember how light it was, and I remember being happy with that. So the MacBook Air has always been in the back of my mind, always something like, hey, I could get into that again. So I looked into it, and I looked into speccing it out, kind of what I could get for $2,000. And basically, for the MacBook Air for $2,000, I could get, first I could get the Midnight Blue, which is a color I'm really liking, but it is true what they say about it. If you go on the internet, you can read a bunch about it. It smudges easy. So, I've had it for a couple days, and there's fingerprints all over it, so you could add a clear case to it. But the color is really cool. It reflects differently depending on the way the light hits it. So sometimes it looks like a matte black. Sometimes it looks almost like a gray and a navy blue. And I like that. I dig it. So for $2,000, I spec'd this thing out, and so I got 16 gigs of RAM, I got a 1 terabyte SSD drive, and I got the faster processor, and there's two different options there. So that came in just under $2,000, which was within my budget. So what also drew me to this one was not just the color, that's not going to be a deciding factor, but I was kind of burnt out on space gray. But what was interesting to me was how lightweight it is. If you do the comparison, if you look online, the comparisons, the numbers, the specs, don't look that significant as far as the size and the weight, but when you pick it up in your hand, and when you walk around, I'm carrying laptops, I'm also, I'm in a hotel room, I'm always carrying it like this, the little, I don't know what you call that pose, but I'm carrying it like that, I'm going to this room, I'm sliding back over here, I'm sitting down, just carrying it with that finger and thumb thing, feels super light. Not that you can't do it with the other one, I can, but it just feels lighter. I don't know, it just does to me. I know it's not significant, but if you pick it up, it feels thinner and it feels lighter. And just a little side note, look at that my little emoji guy. Middle emoji guy, he's got the little hat that I have on, my little Docker hat, not a beanie, Docker hat. And surprisingly, when I came years ago to Osaka, it's where I fell in love with the Docker hat. And I came back now years later, now the Docker hat's out, bucket hat's in, can't find the Docker hat anywhere. And a lot of you give me crap about my Docker hat, my family does. They say I don't look good in it, say I look weird, they don't like it. But guess what? Today I was at Starbucks in Osaka, an attractive woman said, hey, your hat looks cute. I didn't prompt it. She didn't say I look cute. I mean, I don't. She said the hat looks cute, but I'll take what I can get at 45 years old. Hey guys, just a quick reminder for anyone out there interested in stepping up their photography game. I now have a 5-week online masterclass. This is really for people that want to dive in deep and get better, open to amateurs, open to pros, open to anyone that really just wants to improve. I have weekly assignments. We have a weekly call. I help you develop the idea for a personal project, and I help you execute that project every single week. We look at photos every week. You have full access to me during that 5-week period over WhatsApp to ask me questions along the way. It's intense. It requires a commitment, but really, if you want to get better, you want to learn from a pro, check that out and check out my other classes at justinmott.com. So luckily, I was able to get the specs I wanted. That's actually the exact specs I kind of wanted. I was thinking about going 32 gigs, but I wanted to limit myself in the budget. I'm just trying to be better at that, or at least my wife trying to make me be better at that because we're doing a renovation at my house. And I don't know why I'm whispering, because she's not here right now. She's prepping for a shoot with the models right now, and I'm in here doing this. Anyway, I'm trying to be better about being on a budget. So for $2,000, this is sort of the most I could get, and it's been plenty. I haven't used it extensively yet. I haven't put it through a stress test, but that new M2 processor compared to my old Intel processor is very snappy. I can feel that right away, just changing between apps. Having 16 gigs of RAM compared to 32 gigs of RAM. I did have a lot going on. I didn't do the full migration over. I set this up as a new Mac. So when I was doing that, I had a lot of apps open, signing in, registering, and sort of reconfiguring. So a lot of things going on. I did see the little wheel once or twice, only for a second. Something I never really saw on my Pro. Worried me for a minute, but I did some 4K editing on it. No problems there. Hasn't got hot yet, but again, not a full stress test. I'll report if there's anything to report back when I do like an export of like 400 high-res photos out of Lightroom, and we'll see then. Or if I do some heavy rendering, then I'll know. But anyway, I'm not the person for that. There's other people that do that better. But for what I needed, which was something within a budget, $2,000, something that was lightweight or at least lighter. I know, again, you're going to say it's not that significant if you look online, but it feels nicer in your hands. And if you guys follow me and you know how much I love Leica cameras because of how well they feel in your hands and the ergonomics of it, this just has nice ergonomics. Do I miss the touch bar? Not at all. Do I love this new MagSafe charger? Well, not new. It's been around for a while. They discontinued it, came back. Love the MagSafe charger. Do I miss the lack of ports because it only has 2 ports here, and then on the other side it just has a headphone jack? Not really. I typically have 2 hard drives plugged in and an SD card reader plugged in, but I've gotten used to the dongle thing. I know it's not great, but I've gotten used to the dongle thing. It doesn't bother me at all. I got my 2 hard drives plugged in and my card reader plugged in at the same time. No problem there. Do I wish I had one more port? Yeah, but it doesn't. I'll live with it. I'll live with the smudging. I'll buy a clear case if I need to. I dig the color. For something being, I'm not going to say affordable because way cheaper laptops out there that are powerful, but for the price, for someone that lives in the Apple ecosystem, love the design, love the look, love the ergonomics. I think it's going to work well for me. Will it work well for you? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. I'm not one of those people that tells you this is for exactly this person. This is not for you. This might be for you. It might not be for you, but it is for me. I'm happy with it. I'll report back in a couple months. This is just initial impressions. That's all for today, guys. Let me know if you're a MacBook Pro or MacBook Air person, or if you're considering one over the other and why. Let me know in the comment section. We can have a little talk in there about it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to check out my online store at justinmott.com, where I've got prints, I've got presets, and I've got a variety of online classes open to all levels of photographers interested in all genres of photography. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day.